Bitcoin halving 2024, what you must know. Okay, let's get right into it. So we have a Bitcoin halving coming up, okay? Very soon. I'm going to give you guys everything you need to know about this specific halving, okay? So you guys are prepared and you're not caught off guard because this is a pretty big event coming up. This is the fourth Bitcoin halving in Bitcoin's total existence. So to give you guys a quick definition of what the halving is, the Bitcoin halving is a pre-programmed event that reduces the reward given to crypto miners by half approximately every 4 years. The halving is essential because it ensures that the supply of Bitcoin is kept in check and prevents inflation. The reduction of mining rewards means that the demand for Bitcoin is expected to increase and its value is likely to surge in response. It is anticipated to happen every 210,000 blocks, or roughly every 4 years, with the most recent halving occurred in May 2020, reducing the reward from 12.5 Bitcoin every 10 minutes to 6.25 Bitcoin every 10 minutes. And the Bitcoin halving plays a crucial role in the long-term viability and scarcity of Bitcoin. Okay, so now this has happened 4 previous times, okay? Three previous times. This will be the fourth halving. And it's really interesting because usually Bitcoin's price skyrockets after the halving. Okay, so I know there's a lot of FUD out there, and I've even talked to some of my clients. They're a little bit worried. Bitcoin's been pretty volatile leading up to this fourth halving, but historically, guys, the halving has been really, really, really good for Bitcoiners. So I want to give you guys kind of a quick rundown of the previous halvings of what happened, so what you'll expect. But just know that Bitcoin isn't guaranteed to follow previous price movements, but usually it's pretty predictable because Bitcoin is based on math, not human emotions or something like that. So the first halving occurred in on November 28th, 2012. Okay, and at the time of the halving, the price of Bitcoin was about $12. Okay, so the price of Bitcoin on November 28th, 2012 was about $12, and it ran all the way up to about $1,000 at its peak. So it really skyrocketed. Okay, so during the first halving, the price of Bitcoin went up 8,000% at its peak. Okay, so then the second halving was on July 9th, 2026. Okay, and the price of Bitcoin during that halving went from around $640 at the day of the halving to the bull run peak of 20,000. Okay, so Bitcoin was up about 5,000%. Okay, so Bitcoin went up a lot. It was up about 5,000%. Okay, now take a look at the third halving. Okay, the third halving was on May 11th, 2020. And at the time of the halving, Bitcoin was around $8,605. And as we all know, Bitcoin went up to its all-time high, the last bull run, to about 69,000, which is about an 800x. Okay, so as you guys can see, Bitcoin has done really, really well. Okay, every halving cycle, the price usually skyrockets. Okay, so like I said, obviously the percentage gains have gone down, each halving, but the total price amount of Bitcoin has skyrocketed. So what will happen this halving? Well, we don't really know, but we do know that the block reward is going to be reduced, okay, from 6.25 Bitcoin to 3.125 Bitcoin per block. So instead of 900 Bitcoin being released every day, there's only going to be 450 Bitcoin released. But based on the last three halvings, the price of Bitcoin is absolutely skyrocketed. But there has been, in terms of percentage gains, diminishing returns. So the last halving, we were up 800%. So you could look at Bitcoin's historical, gains and kind of say, okay, well, it was 800% the last halving, maybe it'll be something like the price will be up 500%. So if Bitcoin was up 500%, that means it would do like a 6x. So that means Bitcoin would top out around, let's say it's around 70K or so times 6. Bitcoin might top out at like 420,000 at the top of the bull run. Now, to me personally, the best strategy for selling Bitcoin after the halving is to sell it 500 days after the halving. So the best strategy for accumulating Bitcoin is to buy it 500 days before the halving. So if it were to sell Bitcoin 500 days after the halving, you would pretty much be taking your profits sometime if you take a year. So obviously after it'll be April 2025. That's approximately 4 months after April 2025. So April 2025, May, June, July, August. So a good strategy that's done really well would be to take profits after each halving 500 days, which would be approximately August 2025. Okay, that's probably a time where I'm going to be taking profits. I'm definitely going to be taking profits on August 16th, 2025. That's my birthday. I'll be turning 39 years old. So like I said, I usually take profits on my birthday to reward myself. That's my strategy. But there's one caveat that I didn't mention, and that's the fact that these Bitcoin ETFs, at first we had Bitcoin ETFs from the United States, and then now we have Bitcoin ETFs potentially coming in from Hong Kong, okay, leading up to this fourth halving. There's a lot of money sitting on the sidelines in Asia that is waiting to get into these Bitcoin ETFs. Bitcoin is not necessarily guaranteed to follow previous cycles. With Wall Street and all these institutional investors in Asia and the Americas getting into Bitcoin now, the bull run could last longer. So like I said, guys, for me, I've been holding Bitcoin for almost 5 years now, and I'm not so excited to sell because who knows, maybe Bitcoin will transition. Maybe it won't necessarily follow historical trends. It'll kind of move towards hyper Bitcoinization where people are literally using it as a currency. And then that's when people start using a currency. You won't have these violent swings every 4 years in the price because more and more people will be holding it and using it to buy things. So it could be just more stable. But like I said, this is a great time to buy in before the halving, before the supply shock, before the amount of Bitcoin being released and the inflation rate decreases. Okay, so remember, we're going from 900 Bitcoin released to only 450 Bitcoin released per day. That's huge. And with all of these ETFs and with all the people buying Bitcoin through their crypto wallets or on their brokerage accounts through the Bitcoin ETF, and then institutional investors are accumulating. Companies like MicroStrategy continue to buy the top no matter what the price is. Things could get really interesting. So, like I said, I'm holding. I haven't sold anything. Okay, I'm holding all of my crypto stocks. I'm holding my MicroStrategy shares, my Bitcoin mining stocks, Marathon Digital, and CleanSpark, and my Bitcoin leading into this halving. So, like I said, I don't know exactly where the price is going to go. Historically, the price has absolutely mooned, so it should be interesting, guys. For some of you guys out there, some of my clients out there that are wondering, what you should do now. Historically, it's been best to pretty much do nothing. Less is more. And after speaking with some of my some Fidelity reps, I use Fidelity as a brokerage account, and at the time talking with some reps, they say the best performing accounts in general are people that either passed away or forgot they had an account. So like I said, I really believe with Bitcoin and crypto in general, less is more. You don't need to trade in and out of your Bitcoin. If you know what you're doing, go for it. But a lot of you guys watching this video, you're going to do very, very well if you buy your coins, you buy your, or you buy the Bitcoin ETF and you do nothing. Just understand you have a fixed asset with only a fixed cap of 21 million. And at one point in time, I don't know if it'll be next year or 10 years from now, everyone in the world with an internet connection will want to own some Bitcoin. So when that happens, you're going to be very, very, very happy that you bought Bitcoin before everyone else did, right? So this is like not a Ponzi scheme. It's not a pyramid scheme. It's simply a digital savings account. And the earlier you understand that everyone's going to eventually want to own some of this so they can kind of control their wealth and kind of replace these traditional banking accounts that pay you terrible interest rates. Bitcoin, like I mentioned time and time again, it's up 67% on average over the last 10 years. It's probably the highest yielding bank account that you can find where the risk is fairly low, considering Bitcoin's been around for 15 years and hasn't had any problems and it's still churning block after block. So like I said, guys, that's an important thing to know. Don't panic. Don't worry yourself about the price swings. Think long term. Understand what you got. And if you guys are looking to take profits, remember my strategy: sell 500 days after the Bitcoin halving, which will be sometime in August 2025, right around there. That's probably a good time to take profits. You don't necessarily need to take profits all at once. You can just sell a little bit at a time and slowly exit yourself out of the position if you want to take profits. If you're not worried about taking profits, if you're really a long-term investor, you're thinking the next 10 to 20 years, okay, especially for some of you younger guys out there, you Gen Z guys out there, you can just do nothing and just hold on to your Bitcoin. I mean, you're going to do well. That's going to be a great strategy as well. So like I said, guys, this is not financial advice. This is just what I'm particularly doing. I'm going to put all of this information in the description below. If you guys want to reach out, you can follow me on X as well. If you guys have any questions or comments, my email address is in the description. You can reach out to me there as well. So that's all until the next video.